Hey, welcome to my channel. My name's Addie, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul. This is the second book haul I've ever done, and I wanted to format this one a little bit differently. I want to start off with books that complete series that I already own, books solely because of the author, books that either the cover or the description reeled me in, little library books, and last but not least, popular books. I feel like that'll be a fun way to share the books that I found with you guys. All right, so let's start with our first category, books because they complete series I already own. Starting off with Cain's Cage. This book is, I think, the last one in the Red Queen series. I only ever read the first book in that series, and I never finished it. I don't know if it's because the other books weren't out yet and I completely forgot about it, but when I was out shopping and I saw this, it reignited my want to pick up this series. It's a YA fantasy book, and it's relatively popular, I think. Next one is The Fear by Natasha Preston. I grabbed a few Natasha Preston books because they complete the series I have, but I actually haven't read any of her books. So I'm starting to wonder if that was a bad choice or not, because I'm not even sure if I like her writing style. The other two books that I got by her are The Haunting, The Lost. So yeah, those are the three Natasha Preston books that I got. I'm pretty sure all of her stories are like revolving around trauma, which is always fun to read about someone else's stuff. Stars Above. This book is part of the Cinder series, and it's actually the last one that I needed to collect before I could start reading this series. It is YA, and I think it's like got robots in it. Someone told me about this series forever ago. They said it was really great, and I started collecting them, but I didn't want to start the series until I had all of them. So I think I'm gonna read this one over the summer. Everlasting. This book I purchased because it's part of a series I read when I was younger, Kissed by an Angel. I don't think I ever actually read this one though. So there's that. Hunting Prince Dracula. So this is part of a series where the first one is Stalking Jack the Ripper. I'm pretty certain that each of the books are standalones. This is another one that I haven't started reading any of them yet, so it was probably a bad idea to purchase another one, but I just couldn't resist. They seem like really interesting stories. This one obviously follows Dracula. Next we have Untamed. This is part of an Alice in Wonderland series. This is another one where I had started the series, but all of the books weren't out yet, so I just fell off of it. I am huge into Alice in Wonderland. Unfortunately, I do already own this one. It's a different one that I don't own. So I accidentally double purchased this one, but it's okay because I'm going to put it in a little library. And with that being said, let's move on to our little libraries category. For those of you who don't know what a little library is, it's essentially community-based library. So books that people don't want, have extra copies of, didn't like, they put into these libraries for someone else to enjoy. I have found so many great books in little libraries, and my favorite thing about them is being able to put other books into it, especially with my son. It's a really great way to show him how to give and take. With that being said, let's take a look at the books I found there. Starting off with Bridget Jones' Diary. This one is one that I constantly see, and I'm pretty sure it's a movie, and I just felt like wanting to pick it up. Next we have Necessary Lies. This book is set in 1960, and it follows a girl whose parents died, and she's essentially left to take care of her grandmother. The synopsis of it seemed really interesting, so I snagged it up. Next we have Drop by Drop. This cover is what really reeled me into picking this up. This book has such an interesting premise. Pretty much all of technology stops working and plastic starts melting and people are struggling to survive. I love books that are like that. The Foundling. This is one of those historic romance books, and I love books like this so much. Back to Blood. This book is set in Miami and it focuses on the clash of cultures. Books that I got just because of the author. 1,000 Heartbeats. This book, in case it wasn't obvious, I picked it because of the author. And it's a romance story. I love me a good romance. Here we have Leviathan. This one I picked up because of the author. She wrote the Ugly series, which is a series that got me into reading. I read that series in like 5th grade, I think. It's a phenomenal series. I love it. If you're an adult, you probably won't because I think the character is 13. But if you have a child that enjoys reading, they might like that book. It's phenomenal. Next is books that I got because of the cover or the premise of the story. Starling House. The cover of this book reeled me in, but the premise of the story made me pick it up. And it essentially follows a high school dropout who's trying to make money to support her younger brother, and she ends up getting a job in a house. And I don't want to read the whole thing, so I'll just tell you how it ends. It says, "Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare." This seems like a fall read. I think I won't read this one until fall. The 10,000 Doors of January. This book, it's the cover. This book is actually written by the same author who wrote Starling House. Same thing, cover reeled me in, but the description of the book is what made me purchase it. It's the same thing. It deals with a mansion that has like a lot of artifacts in it. And the name of the character is January. January found some kind of way to escape her story and jump into someone else's. Next is The Ruin of Keynes. This one is part of a series, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you all of the covers. The Name of All Things, The Memory of Souls. Honestly, I only picked up this book because it had a dragon on the cover, and if you don't live under a rock, you've probably read Fourth Wing, which has made me obsessed with wanting to find other stories that revolve around dragons. The premise of the book seems really great. I only managed to find 3 of the books, but I think there's one more. I intend on reading this one after I finish the Fireborn series. That is another dragon series. Archetype. The cover obviously reeled me in, and then the premise is what made me pick up the book. Essentially, there's a girl who is trapped somewhere and a man won't let her out. I need to read it. I need to know why. Dragonswood. The cover, the fact that it says dragon on it, and of course, the premise of the story has dragons in it. And not only does it have dragons, it's got a fairy palace, a lost prince, and an epic romance. And I am a sucker for any book that has romance as a subplot. The Kingdom of Childhood. Obviously, the cover reeled me in. This book is a little bit more heavy. It deals with the relationship of a teacher and a student. If you know what I'm insinuating that I think I can't say because YouTube doesn't allow it. Fairest. Originally, I picked this one up because I thought it was part of the Lux series, but it is not. It's actually part of an Ella Enchanted series. So this novel is set in the world of that series, so I think I don't need to read the other one, but obviously now I need to buy the other one before I can read this one, or at least see if I can find it in a library. And now, the last category, popular books. I didn't find that many, honestly. I found 4, but they are part of a series. So, starting off with Divine Rivals. So here we have Ruthless Vows, which is the second one. I almost didn't pick this one up, but when I saw that they had both of them and that they were book of the month ones, I couldn't resist. Plus, I keep seeing this everywhere on TikTok, on Goodreads, and I figured, why not jump on the bandwagon? Let me know down in the comments if you've read these ones and if they're actually worth the hype. Now we have the next set of books, which is part of a series. These Hollow Vows. These Twisted Bonds. This one I had on my want to read list. I keep seeing it everywhere on TikTok and on Goodreads. So when I saw it, and I saw both of them together, and I think it's just the two of them, I hope it's just the two of them at least, I had to buy them. Hopefully these also live up to the hype because I keep seeing really great things about these. That is all of the books I got. I got a total of, let me count them, 29 books. And that is all I have for today. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.